Wow, that was funny. I had the ending soon scene showing here for my live stream, guys. Sorry about that. Don't want to get you guys confused. We're about to start this live stream right now. All right, little mess up on my part. Let's get to it. Welcome, guys, to the Meet Damien live stream. I am Damien, and today's live stream we're looking at the price of Bitcoin currently at 65,400. I was talking last night that I was interested in entering a short on Bitcoin, and I did. I told you guys you can hold me accountable if I get knocked out of the trade, but I was able to take some profit here. And let's take a look at my positions here on WEEX. I'm looking at WEEX cryptocurrency exchange. I am shorting Pippin right now as another position that I'm in, about up $20 on that right there. I did enter a hedge long on Bitcoin because I think Bitcoin might climb up a little bit while I'm live streaming here with you guys. And then here is the Bitcoin short that I got in at 67,800. Currently the price of Bitcoin is at 65,400. I'm up about $144 on that. That's what the percentage gain looks like right now on WEEX. And I did take a little bit of profits earlier today, so who knows, it could have been a little bit more than that. But yeah, you can see there's a little bit of realized P&L here. I made like $54 on this short that I realized, and if I was to close out the rest of it, I'd probably be up like $200 on that Bitcoin short. So kudos to me. But I am thinking that Bitcoin could come down to 63K, so I got that as my take profit stop loss. My take profits at 63K. My stop loss, I won't really lose any money. If we go back to 67,750, I'll make enough money to cover my fees for being in that trade. But I did get into this Bitcoin long because if we do start climbing up, I want to make some money going that way too. And right now, I'm in a Bitcoin long that I got in at 65,500. We're currently in that 65,500. My take profits are going to take me up. I want to take some profit at 67K if we get back up there. I'll make 88 bucks there, and stop loss is at 64,950. I'll lose $36, but that's okay because that means my short's going to be printing more money, so that's fine. That's fine and dandy with me. So yeah, there you go. I do longs and shorts on the same asset using the same leverage. And this is how I am able to lock in profits here, because if we're Bitcoin at 65,400, I took a long in this area, so if we go back up here, yeah, my short's going to get hurt, but my long's going to play. And I still think overall we're going to get knocked down and go to lower prices here on Bitcoin. So I'll temporarily make money on the long here, hopefully, and I'll still stay in the short. And if the short doesn't get stopped out, then the short will start making me money as we come back down to 65K. Now that's just an idea. I don't know if we're actually going to go back up to 67K, but if we do, I would like to make some money going that way if I can. All right, so just a way to play this market, because it goes up and it goes down. We all know that, right? Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat here. Let me catch up with my TikTok guys here. We have a guy here asking, will Bitcoin rise back stronger? That's a good question. And then what is your definition of stronger? I think Bitcoin is still in the bear market. There's a lot of money still leaving Bitcoin right now. And with all those people leaving Bitcoin, it's really hard for us to get back up to like 100K, like we would like to see Bitcoin to come back to, right? Let's see. Let me catch up on the YouTube chat here. I see Alva Medina's in the chat here, and he says, everything must go, fire sale. Sure does feel like that, right? Especially, after Bitcoin lost a couple of grand today. We're down like $1,500 right now, but we were down like, $2,000 here on Bitcoin, and we're down 2% right now. But we know that Bitcoin could do a day on us where it goes down like 5 or 10%. Let's see. Alvin Medina says, all good, let's get it. All right. And let me go back to the chat here on TikTok, see what you guys are saying here. You said, hi, bro, go short, maybe 67,400. I mean, that's where I got in at. I got in on a short, a little bit higher than that, actually. You can see that my short here on WEEX, I got in at, yesterday at 67,800 on my short. And I'm up about 140 bucks using 40x leverage here on the Bitcoin short. Right now, I only got about $105 of margin in there. Okay. But look at this. I also went into a long on Bitcoin, and I use about $100 a margin, and I'm up. I'm also in profit here on my long. So you could be making money shorting and longing at the same time. You just got to pick the right entries, the right areas to get in at. Let me just do a sound check here. All right, I can hear myself. Good. All right, so this just goes to show you can make money shorting and longing the same damn asset using the same leverage here, and still be in profit on your long and your short. We'll see what happens. Is my long going to eat away and take away some of the profit from my short? Or is the short just going to bury the long and then I get stopped out of the long? We'll see. We'll see. It's like a battle of the bulls and bears here. And it's literally playing out on my WEEX trading account right now. The battle between the bulls and bears. I also got into a Pippin short earlier this morning and last night. Looks like I got in at 53 cents here on Pippin. Pippin's currently trading at 49 cents. I also realized profits. I took some money off the table, made about 38 bucks so far, and I still got about $22 here in unrealized gains here, up 78% on the my short here on Pippin. But I don't have that much margin in it. I'm actually trying to add to the short if I can. If we go back up to like 50 cents here on Pippin, I'll try to add to the short. But yeah, this is what it looks like so far. Well, hey, up 78% on the short here with Pippin. Okay, and let me just click on Pippin real quick here, see if what we can see here on the data here. So yeah, I'm just trying to short Pippin if we get back up to 50 cents, somewhere in this area. We were there like about a couple hours ago, around like 3 p.m. Eastern time here. And if we come back up there, I would like to see if I can add to the short. This could end up being just one big bear flag here on our way down to lower prices for Pippin. Okay, and I got the stop loss really tight where, if I get in at 50 cents, I'll get stopped out at 52 cents for a small loss on the Pippin short. But I'm still in the Pippin short. We'll see if it's going to go down some more. I just want to add to the Pippin short at 50 cents if I can here. But let me go back into the chats here. I actually want to show you Pippin here real quick here. I'll show you like what I'm looking at on the charts with the moving averages here. So on the 50-minute time frame, we saw Pippin pop its head up above the 50 moving average, this green line at 49 cents, 0.497 pennies to be exact. Looks like Pippin went up to like 50.5 cents here, and then it came down. I'm thinking that if we're not able to get above this green moving average, that might be it for Pippin, and we might go down to lower prices like we saw Pippin go down to like 43 cents here earlier today. Let's see, I actually took profit somewhere like around like 45 cents here. I didn't actually get 43 cents, but I took profit when I saw, Pippin drop down to this 200 moving average on the 15-minute time frame. This is where I took partial profit on my short. I'm still in the Pippin short, and if we just roll over again, I'll make more money on the way down, but I am trying to get filled right over here on the short. I'm trying to add more to the short here and see if I could take Pippin down to lower prices here. But we have been talking about Pippin on the Meet Damien Discord here, because this thing has been a beast of a cryptocurrency. On the 1 hour time frame, you can see that we've been going up and to the right, 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 and it's like, well, when is this thing gonna actually start falling down, right? Zooming out to the daily time frame here, we saw that Pippin has been at like 54 cents here on January 28th. So we were trying to play like the double top here. Like there's a top here, and now there's another top here at the same level. And that's all we're doing, is trying to short the double top that could potentially be forming here on Pippin. But the thing that kind of scares me about Pippin is that Pippin has been the higher prices. We had seen Pippin go up to like 72 cents here. So it might not be done going up, okay? But maybe it might be going up, and I was able to take a little bit of profit shorting it today. If Pippin ends up actually climbing up to higher prices here, we could see Pippin try to come up to the 1272 at 65 cents, and then maybe the 1618 at 79 cents. That'd be pretty crazy if it's doing that while Bitcoin's dropping down. I highly doubt that it's going to do that, but some of these cryptocurrencies are able to buck the trend, and Pippin was bucking the trend the last few days here while Bitcoin was dropping down to 60K. So maybe it does do that. And if it does, that's why I got a stop loss on my short, so I won't lose, the money that I put into it. The stop loss is at break even for now on Pippin. But like I said, I am trying to add to the short. If it goes up to 50 cents here, I probably should put an alert here just to remind myself if it does go up to like 49. We'll say 49.90 is where the alert should trigger. So let's do that here real quick on TradingView. Is this thing going to work? Are we not going to... I'm clicking this button, create alert. Why is this not creating my alert? Okay, alright, whatever. So we're not working today as far as alerts go. So I'll just have to double check. Or maybe I'll get the notification on my phone here. Darkside is in the chat here. Hello to you, Darkside. Good to see you in the TikTok chat here. And Duali C's in here. He says hello to everyone. Good to see you, Duali C. And Edible Zombies, I see you as well. Edible Zombie says, what the F is wrong with BTG? Is that a request? We can take a look at BTG if that's a request. Didn't you ask me about that yesterday too? About BTG? I can't remember off the top of my head, but it sounds familiar. Rosa is in the chat here. Rosa says probably too late to enter these. What are you trying to enter? Let me see. Somebody was you guys did a little bit of talking here while I was talking myself here. Rosa, thank you for following me here. Super Tomato says he uses 10x leverage. Rosa said how risky is 40x leverage? 40x leverage is good if you need it. You know, Bitcoin. Okay, so one of the reasons why I do 40x leverage on Bitcoin, and let me just go back here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Back to WEEX here. So I do 40x leverage on Bitcoin because if Bitcoin goes up 2%, that's like an 80% move, okay? And 80% is like close to like, you know, doubling my money, whatever margin I put in there. If I get a 3% move on Bitcoin using 40x leverage, then that becomes like 120% gain. So I'm definitely going to be able to double my money if it does that. And you just got to kind of figure out, you know, what the asset is capable of doing on a day-to-day basis. I know Bitcoin can go up and down like 2 or 3% on any normal day. So I use 40x leverage because when I put like $100 into like a long on Bitcoin, I'm trying to get $100 out of it by doubling my money. So I have to use 40x leverage for like a 3% move. You know, 40 times 3 is 120%. 120% means you double your money. Okay. So like just for instance here, on the Bitcoin short that I did on Bitcoin, right? I put $105 of margin in there. And I'm using 40x leverage. I'm up 118% here. And that was only like a 3% move on Bitcoin. But with a 3% move, I was able to turn my $105 of margin into about $124 of unrealized profits. If I sell right now, if I close out this position, I'll have $125 that I can pocket. Okay, so that's one reason why I use 40x leverage. Now, that's not going to be the case with every asset. Like an asset like Pippin. Pippin can go up, you know, what, in one day? It went up 24% yesterday. And then the day before that, it went up 43%. So you don't need to use 40x leverage on Pippin. You could probably just use, I mean, in the last few days, you could have just used like 2x leverage or 3x leverage. If it's going to go up 40% in one day, you know, with 3x leverage, that's 120% gain right there. And you still double your money just using 3x leverage. So you got to figure out, you know, what you're doing here with your leverage and what kind of percentage gain you think you're going to get out of the move. And then you just, you know, you take the percentage gain and multiply that by whatever leverage you need to get like, you know, your 100% gain. And that's all I'm trying to do is just get 100% gains. I know some people are ridiculous and they try and do like 500% gains or 2,000% gains or whatever. But like, I'm just looking for 100% gains. I'm just trying to double the money that I put in. And I just use whatever leverage I need based on whatever percentage move I think I'm going to get. And, you know, I just do the math and I figure out, you know, all right, I'll be able to double my money if I hit my target. All right, we got Lauren A in the chat here. Good to see you, Lauren A. And, all right, yeah. Oh, Edible Zombie says yesterday was ZRO. I remember ZRO. I remember you talking about ZRO. Do you want me to take a look at BTG? I'll do that for you. Right now, we're looking at Pippin only because I'm in a Pippin short and I want to see if I can add to my short here. Anyways, let's see what else we got here for requests. Greg says, am I long on Bitcoin right now? I actually am. And I'm actually like making money longing and shorting it at the same time here. So I'm still in this short because I think Bitcoin's going to go down to 63K at some point here. But I did enter a long on Bitcoin, okay, just at 65,500, and I put my stop loss at 64,950 because I think Bitcoin might get a little bit of a relief rally in the next hour or two, and I want to be able to make some money if Bitcoin's going to go up, you know, while I'm doing this live stream here with you guys. All right, so yeah, let's just take a look at Bitcoin real quick one more time, and then we'll look at BTG. But over here on the 5-minute time frame, you can see like Bitcoin, you know, the violent sell-off took us down to like $65,000, okay? And right now we're at like 65,700, but I got in at 65,500 on my long here, and I just put the stop loss right below 65K because, you know, if we are going to go down to 65K or lower, then I'll get stopped out, but that means the money in my short's going to be making me money if we're going to, you know, continue going down to lower prices. However, if we do climb back up to like 66 or 67K here, then I kind of want to make some money on the way up there. I don't think it's going to, you know, I think Bitcoin's going to get rejected again and go down to lower prices and make another lower high. But like with me buying at 65K and going in the long and then taking profit at 66 and 67K, I can make some money temporarily while Bitcoin tries to make another lower high, and then we dump down to like 63K, or maybe we dump down to like somewhere in the 50s, right? I can make money with my short. All right, let's get on to BTG here for my buddy Edible Zombies. What an amazing name, Edible Zombies. How'd you come up with that name? It sounds like a pretty cool name. I don't know. Do I want to eat a zombie? I feel like all they do is like eat people. I don't know if I want to eat, you know, a cannibal. Ugh. Then that makes me a cannibal, right? Ugh. I don't know. Let's see. We're gonna take a look at BTG. Is BTG a stock or a crypto? I probably should have asked you that before I started typing here. Edible Zombies, are you still in the chat here? Could you tell me if it's a stock or a crypto? I'm gonna go with a crypto unless you tell me otherwise. Looks like it's BTG stands for Big Gold Tether. Is that what we're looking at? I believe there's also a stock called BTG too, so I'm a little bit confused here because there is a BTG on the New York Stock Exchange. I'm gonna go with the crypto until you tell me otherwise. So is this the crypto that we're looking at here? BTG, $3.67. And you said, what is wrong with it? Oh man, I can see, like, you know, yesterday we had a bad day for BTG. We went down 25% that day. And let me just zoom out to see, did we lose an area of support here? Alright, so going back through history here, this is information coming off of MEXC exchange. Looks like BTG first came into existence on MEXC on October 2nd here. And you closed out at like $5 here, $5.11. And then the next day you were at like $5 and yeah, you opened the day at a $5.11, as low as $5.10. So $5.10 was an important area for BTG to hold because that was where most investors got in at over here when it first came into existence. And let's see, yesterday you opened at $4.85 and you got as high as $4.95 and you lost it. So I think, yeah, after you started losing like $5 and $5.10, that was like game over for BTG. Okay, that's why you had that nasty red candle, because you lost your last line of defense and support here. Okay, so we were supposed to do this, right? Let me just draw the line out here. You were supposed to stay like right here and not lose that level. Okay, and you started losing that level last Thursday, and then you started losing it some more on Friday. You tried to come up a bit above it, but you couldn't stay above that $5.10 level there. And let me just adjust this to like 510. It should be like 510 right there. Like, 509, 510, somewhere around there. So you lost this level. You try to get above it, try to get above it, try to get above it. Couldn't stay above 510, and then you for sure you lost it. So there you go. That's how I would answer that question about what the hell's wrong with BTG. You lost $5.10, which was a level that you started off here back in October. So just think about it. Like, think about if you bought BTG yourself, right? You bought it back in October of last year. You saw it go up. For some reason, you did not take profit, okay? After you basically tripled in value here. You watch it come down, you watch it come up, you watch it go down, you watch it come up. And then finally, you're back at break even here in February. I mean, wouldn't you try to get out of it before it dumps? So, yeah, whoever bought back in October, they're hurting, and if they didn't sell at $5 or close to break even, now they're definitely hurting on this this crypto here. $3.67 is where you're trading at right now. You're below all the moving averages here, 21 and the 50-day. You would think at some point you should get probably a mean reversion back to the 21 EMA. That's sitting at $5.36. So there might be some hope where you can try to gain back what you lost here. But yeah, losing that $5.10 level was the reason why things went to hell on that crypto. All right, Young Alpha Boss, what are you saying here? After show us your analyst for my analysis for gold and silver. And then Young Alpha's asking me, do I use more SMAs or EMAs? I like using the 21 EMA for this white line. And then I use the simple moving averages for the 50, the 100, and the 200. This asset here hasn't been around for longer than 200 days, so you're not really getting a 200 moving average. But if I went to the 1 hour time frame, you'll see that. You'll see the moving averages. So yeah, on the 1 hour time frame here, you know, I got the 200 moving average, the 50, the 100, and the 50 here. And those are the simple moving averages there. And then the white line is the 21 EMA. And look at this. Wow. Such a sharp drop that this thing was like, oh, white line's like, oh, we're doing a nosedive down. We got to catch up to the price here. Wow. That's all I got to say about that. F the Law is saying he wants me to take a look at Astre. Is that a request for Astre? A-S-T-R-E. Let me know if that's a request there for ASTRE. And let me see what else you guys are saying in the chat here. You want to look at gold and silver. Okay, we can take a look at gold and silver. Rosa says, do I use stop losses? I always use stop losses. Rarely do I never use the stop loss unless I'm okay with getting liquidated and losing all my margin. And if it's only like $10 or $20 in margin, then maybe I might not use the stop loss because I'm okay with losing 20 bucks on a trade here. All right. So yeah, that's that for now. Let's take a look at gold and silver because that is a request here. Looking at the price of gold, currently trading at $4,918. Let me go into the daily time frame here, and we'll see what gold is doing right now. So gold looks like it's like kind of like chilling out near the golden pocket here. This Fibonacci that I drew from like 3,800 all the way up to like 5,593 gives us these Fibonacci numbers to look out for. Gold had that little nasty drop off here towards the end of January, and it came down and it tested like it almost tested a 0.236 retracement at 42.79 here, but you got front run before you even hit that. Okay, but now you're steadily climbing and you're using this white line, the 21 EMA. You're using that white line as support to climb yourself up to higher prices here. Now, I don't know why gold had a bad day today, okay? But for some reason it did, okay? But I think this could be a buying opportunity where you could, you know, buy this red candle here. Put your stop loss maybe below the lows for today. And then we'll see if gold can climb up to this 0.786 retracement at 5,225. that's the next level, I think, where gold could get a rejection. So there could be another nasty red candle once we hit 5,200. Okay, I'm expecting a little bit of resistance here just because that's how the Fibonacci usually goes. We usually get some resistance or a reaction when we hit the 786 retracement. But if we can push past that, then yeah, we'll probably see gold come up to 5,593. Now let's see, does gold have the momentum to continue going to higher prices like it's been doing over the last year and a half? If I go into the MACD, we had selling pressure dying down, and then out of nowhere, selling pressure just started increasing again. So that's probably throwing some people in for a loop right now. And then here on market cipher B indicator, momentum has been going down, money flow has been going down. So okay, maybe it's not a surprise that we had a nasty red candle here because the money flow is just not that strong anymore on gold. So maybe gold is topping out. Could it be possible that gold is topping out near $5,000? Because you got money flow on the daily time frame is in the negative. That means money is leaving out of gold right now, and you got a red sell dot that came in today. So I'd be looking out for lower prices here for gold. And if gold is going to go down to lower prices, if this is the new direction for gold, and we do got some levels to look out below. I would say the 0.382 retracement at $4,500 is where we could go next here for gold if we're going to drop down lower prices here. But we also have another interesting level as well to look at that has confluence between the moving average and the Fibonacci. And you got the 0.236 at 42.79, which is at the same level, close enough to this 50 moving average. So maybe gold actually drops down from the 21 EMA, this white line, all the way down to this green line at $4,300. We might see gold drop down for you, and that's gonna put a definitely gonna put cold water on whatever hot rally that we got here on gold, right? If we start seeing $4,300, I mean, there will be some people that will treat it as a buying opportunity. They can buy gold at $4,300, which is better than buying it at $5,300. But I don't know, you know, the retail investors that got excited about, you know, gold does nothing but go up and to the right. When they see gold actually go down and to the right, they might not like seeing that, and they might give up on gold altogether if gold's not going to continue going up to higher prices here. Let's see. Edible Zombie says, this is an old Xbox 360 gamer tag you had because you used to play a lot of Call of Duty Zombies. Oh, I used to play Call of Duty Zombies myself. Like, what, 15 years ago maybe? Or might have been 15 years ago. Wow, I remember Call of Duty Zombies. That was that World at War when Call of Duty did the first zombie. I think it was World at War, right? When you know, you were basically fighting in the you could fight as the Russians fighting the Germans, or you could be like the Americans fighting Japan. I remember that game. That was a pretty fun game. Edible Zombie says crypto. So there you go. That's my analysis there on gold. And do you really need me to look at silver? Because I bet you silver is going to show the same thing. I can just give you the price targets, right? To look out for. So silver at $75.25 here, down 10% today. Wow, it's crazy that silver can go up and down like 10% in one day. It's like almost like a cryptocurrency. Okay, but silver could, if it does climb up, it could get some resistance here at this 21 EMA sitting at $91, which is confluent with the $92 level. I would say that's the level to look out for to take profit on silver if you can at $92 here. To the downside, you might see silver come down and actually maybe test the 50-day moving average. You know, we saw the 50-day moving average almost act as support, but we got front run a little bit. So maybe we actually do come down to the 50-day moving average, and that's sitting at $64, which is confluent with the 2.236 retracing at $63.71. So I think downside target for silver right now is $64. Upside target could be $92 if we're going to be bullish here. But I mean, yeah, same thing with the MACD for silver as gold. You had selling pressure that was dying down, and then out of nowhere you got punched in the mouth, and then selling pressure started increasing again here on silver today. So no bueno. And then market cipher B also showing that money flows in the negative. I would expect silver to go down in price, not up. So maybe $64 is likely to hit instead of 92. Scar Jesco's in here. Good to see you, Scar Jesco. Good afternoon to you as well, my friend. But yeah, those are my targets. I gave you the targets for silver and I gave you the targets for gold. And then we did have someone say Astri. I don't know if that was a request. Rosa wants to take a look at Solana. The guy, F the Lord, did you want me to look at Astri? Let me look at that real quick and then I'll look at Solana. Or Rosa. What is this? Astri USD. Let's see if this is a crypto. You said Astri. Did you mean to say Aster? Because there is an Aster cryptocurrency. I'm familiar with that one. And you just reconfirm that that's the one you want me to look at is Aster? Because I think that's the one that you meant to say. I think you might have misspelled it. Yeah, Alpha Boss says he thinks you might have meant Aster. Alright, well, we're going to look at Aster. The cryptocurrency Aster. Since I believe that's the one that you wanted me to look at. Aster, on what exchange do I want to use it on? What exchange? CoinW? We can look at it on CoinW here. Alright, Aster. Wait, there is an Aster. I don't know, that's not the Aster that we want, right? Aster. Yeah, there we go. On MEXC exchange, that's better. Aster currently trading at 69 cents. Up 0.43% today. Not really doing too much here. Let me give her this previous Fibonacci for now. Aster, came out of the... it was off to the races here, back here in September. And this thing, topped out at like $2.43, and now you're at 69 cents. I think that's like a 70% drop from what you were doing back here in September. Let's see, 243 down to where we are right now. It's like a 71% drop in price. That hurts. But Aster, I mean, are you able to do something good here? Well, I like the fact that Aster did get above the 21 EMA. Okay, this 21 EMA was acting as a problem here back here in beginning of January. Middle of January, still acting like a problem, pushing us back down. Same thing towards the end of January, pushing us back down. And finally, we were able to pop our head above the 21 EMA. And now I would say, the next resistance level is going to be the 50 moving average at 83 cents right now. Okay. Let's see, today we got as high as like 76 cents. So we almost, we're getting close to that 50 moving average here. I also want to see Aster get above the previous highs here on the daily candle wicks here. You got a high here at 79 cents and another high here at 80 and a half cents right now and 81 cents. So I want to see that. You got up to like 76 cents, which is not really higher than those highs here. If you do that, you can start making the case that Aster is making higher highs here. And then, of course, all you need to do is start making higher lows and then make another higher high. And guess what? You're in an uptrend. You're no longer in a downtrend. That would be nice to see if Aster could do that. But, Aster right now, I don't like this candle that I'm seeing right now on the daily time frame. This is looking like a shooting star candle. A shooting star candle means that there was way too many sellers that wanted to sell at this price above like 70 cents here. And you're not able to sustain those higher prices here. So if the selling continues on, then you'll start seeing this thing start going down to lower prices. You'll see follow through to the downside here. And usually a shooting star candle is a price reversal candle. This means that the price is done going up for now, and it's probably going to go down tomorrow and the next day. Let's see what the momentum is. Are we going to have the momentum to go to higher prices here? Well, the momentum on the MACD indicator looks pretty strong as of now. I don't see buying pressure dying down like you did here the beginning of January here, where you saw, buying pressure was pretty strong in the beginning of January, and then it started dying off towards the middle of January. Okay, you're not getting that yet, so there's a case to be made that, we might see Aster continue going up to higher prices, right, just based on the momentum from the MACD indicator here. And then market cipher B is showing money flow, which was in the negative in, you know, January and the beginning of February. Money flow, you see this green? You're starting to get green now. So maybe Aster does want to go to higher prices here. And you got a green buy dot here on Friday, February 6th. What was that, a week ago? And the momentum's just very strong here. So I'm going to lean towards Aster is going to probably go to higher prices. And if it does, I think this 83-cent level is your target for whatever longs for the day traders are that are out there. And then if you're just, you know, in a spot position, maybe you can take profit on your Aster at 83 cents. Or if you're, you know, if your break even is higher than that, maybe you can de-risk and take a little bit of risk off the table at 83 cents. But that's what I'll be targeting for Aster right now. Young Alpha Boss asked me, which state am I from? I am living in the United States right now, and I am an East Coast guy, and I am in the state of Massachusetts. And can you hear the Boston accent? Sometimes it's hard for me to pronounce my R's. Every time I say, like, oh, we're entering negative territory, I always have a hard time saying, like, the R in territory. But yeah. Same thing with, I guess, Aster, right? Asta instead of Aster. Yeah, but that's my accent. Yeah. Oh, my accent sounds very American. Yeah, it does. It's like a cross between like Boston and New York is what I've heard some people say, and that makes sense because even though I'm living in Massachusetts, I actually was I was born in Rhode Island, so. Yeah, Rhode Island's in between Boston and New York, so there's a little bit of a splash crossing of the accents between the two states. But I am a New England Patriot fan, and I am a Boston Red Sox, Boston Celtics guy. Those are the teams that I root for. So yeah, there you go. And it was very disheartening to watch the Patriots lose to the Seahawks this past Sunday in the Super Bowl. I'm glad they made it to the Super Bowl. Pleasantly surprised to see them actually make it that far. But yeah, I think our quarterback, you know, Drake was just... He was rushing his passes. He was overthrowing receivers and then underthrowing receivers. He just wasn't on target. And he got intercepted because of that. And then I think there was like a fumble too. I think if Tom Brady was there, we would have beat the Seahawks. Yeah. I'm glad Drake was able to make it to the Super Bowl, but I think the pressure just got to him. And in the Seahawks, they had a pretty good defense. I'll give them credit for that. Their defense did what they needed to do to get those fumbles and interceptions. So congratulations to the Seahawks on that. I am not a Seahawk hater or whatever, or it doesn't really matter to me. You know, you guys could make fun of the Patriots, and it's no big deal to me. All right, I'm not gonna take offense to you making fun of the Patriots. And I'm happy that the Patriots were able to win so many Super Bowls and make so many appearances. So there you go. I should be thankful, not hating. I don't hate on anybody or any team. And you know what? To be honest with you, like, none of that is gonna help me make money anyways. So like, why do I care? I mean, it's good to see that they made it to the Super Bowl, but even if they won the Super Bowl, like, how does that put money in my pocket? I'm more concerned about, you know, these cryptocurrencies and trading stocks and trading commodities than I am about, you know, who wins the Super Bowl, because that's not gonna put money in my pocket. Like, if they win, how do I make money? I mean, I guess I could bet on them winning, right, or whatever, but yeah, not really. I do like football, and I like it a lot, but I don't like it that much. Where I gotta dedicate my life and my emotions are tied to, oh my God, did my team win? Did my team lose? I'm not like that now. Let's see. You are a Seattle Seahawks fan, and you grew up in the Seattle area. Okay, so you must be happy to see that the Seahawks won. Scar Jesco, you must be happy to see that. Mike has a question here. He says, can you explain trading time frames for us? So, trading time frames. Okay, all right. So, usually with trading time frames, right? Let me go into like back to Bitcoin. So, trading time frames. Usually, I like to start on a daily time frame chart. Okay, where every candle represents a day. Okay. So you can go back and see what go back a few days and you can see like what the price of that that asset was trading at. In this case, Bitcoin was trading, back here on Saturday, January 31st, it was trading at like $84,000. Okay. Daily time frames are good to start off with to get the bigger picture, especially if you're a long-term investor, if you're a swing trader. It's good to start on this time frame. Okay, the daily time frame, and then also for the long-term investors, it's also good to see the weekly chart. And if you go to the weekly chart, it shows you what's going on for every candle here. It's like every week. So like the last 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks here, you've seen Bitcoin's just been dropping in price for like the last 4 weeks. That's not good. At some point there will be a green candle here. We'll have an actual good week here for Bitcoin where it goes up rather than down throughout the course of the week here. Weekly time frames is good. They have more credence. They mean a lot more than the daily time frame. And then the monthly time frame is another good long-term time frame to look at to get the bigger picture view. And every candle here now represents a month here. Okay, and this is a good time frame to look at to find out if you're probably near the top of the bull market or if you're at the bottom of a bear market. Right now we've seen that Bitcoin had a really good few years here, and it was getting a little bit long in the tooth on the rally. And yeah, Bitcoin topped out here in October of 2025, and now we're going into a bear market. I already talked about this, that I believe we're in a bear market here for Bitcoin. And I think, we could see Bitcoin go to 40K maybe later on this year. But it's going to take some time. It's not going to just happen overnight. But we could see 40K in the next few months here for Bitcoin. Maybe even next month. Who knows how bad things get here. Okay. But yeah, higher time frame is good for long-term investors to figure out, where we are in the scheme of things here. For the day traders, okay, or even sometimes the swing traders, it's good to look at the smaller time frames, like the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, now every candle represents 4 hours, the previous 4 hours before that, right? And then I usually start, when I'm day trading, I usually start looking at the 1-hour time frame. So now every candle represents an hour. So like here we are at 5 p.m. This is 4 p.m., 3 p.m., 2 p.m., 1 p.m., 12, 11 a.m., 10 a.m. And you see early in the morning here, Bitcoin was climbing up, but then around 9 a.m., I think, Wall Street decided to click the sell button, and they dumped on us and brought us down to these prices that we're at right now. So 1-hour time frame kind of shows me like, what might be happening or what has happened over the last few days. But it also shows me what could happen maybe in the next few hours, in the next day or two. And right now, I see Bitcoin kind of like getting support at $65,000. If we don't get any meaningful price action to the upside here, we could probably end up dumping down. This could end up being a bear flag, and we could dump down to like 63K, which is where my target is for my short. I'm shorting Bitcoin, and I'm thinking Bitcoin can go to 63K here. Okay. However, I don't know. I could be completely wrong. And if Bitcoin just all of a sudden catches bids out of nowhere, we could go back up to 67K. So this 1-hour time frame, really good for day trading here. To get an idea as what might come next here. And right now, on the 1-hour time frame, if I go into like the momentum indicators here to figure out are we going to go down or go up later on tonight and going into tomorrow, it looks like selling pressure is starting to die down here. The trend is, I think Bitcoin might go up in price. That's why I actually went into a long on Bitcoin before I started this live stream here. Okay, I went into a long on Bitcoin because I think there might be a little bit of a relief rally going into later on tonight. Who knows, maybe going into tomorrow. But I think overall we're going to probably still go down in price. That's why I'm still in a Bitcoin short. Okay, so time frames are good to know depending upon like what kind of time horizon you got. Okay, So if you have a long time horizon, there's no point in being in the 1 hour time frame. You should be looking at the daily time frame, right? If you're in this for like a year or two, you should be, you know, at the very least looking at the daily time frame, and then you can look at maybe the weekly and the monthly. But if you're a day trader, if you're like leverage trading, if you're trying to get in now and get out later on this week as like a swing trader as well, I would start looking at like the 4 hour and the 1 hour. And then as far as like smaller time frames, like I'll look at the 15-minute time frames as well, just to see what could happen in like the next few hours, the next couple hours here. All right, and it looks like Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame, it looks like we just created a double bottom here. You got a bottom here at 65,065, and then another bottom here at 65,100. That looks like a double bottom to me, which means that we most likely are literally, bottom is in the name, right? It looks like we might be bottoming out here, and Bitcoin might start doing a relief rally back up to like 66K or 67K. All right, so that's why I'm in a Bitcoin long. All right, and then when I actually want to enter a trade, I'll actually look at the 5-minute time frame to figure out, you know, what's the best price I can get. You know, if I like the prices here, and I'm like, actually, I think I could probably get in on Bitcoin at this white line over here at 65,600. Maybe I can wait. You know, maybe I can wait from like, you know, right now Bitcoin's at 65,700. Maybe I can wait just, you know, 5 or 10 more minutes, and it will go down to 65,600. I can get a better entry. So I'll use like the 5-minute time frame to get like a more precise, better entry on my trades here. Francisco Santos says that's how it looked like last night. Then it continued to dump. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Francisco. Like, you know, Bitcoin, it looks bad. It looks bad. You know, going into the 1 hour time frame. Let me just readjust the charts here. But on the 1 hour time frame, I'll get rid of the moving averages here as well. We're still making lower highs. You know, that's a lower high. You know, Thursday morning at 9 a.m. 68,300, which was a lower high compared to Tuesday afternoon at 69,970, which was also another lower high than Monday afternoon at 71,100, which is also another lower high compared to Sunday evening at $72,000. So we're still making lower highs. And of course, to get down to those lower highs, we're also making lower lows to get down to those lower highs. So, you know, Bitcoin might actually look something like this. It might actually be in a descending channel. Let me try to draw that out real quick if I can. But it looks like something like this is the channel that we're in on Bitcoin right now. Okay, so if this is the channel that we're in, if we can now identify that we're in a descending channel, because we're like near the bottom of the channel, that's why I decided to go long. And I'm just going to try to take profit at, you know, either the heart line. I'll take partial profit at like 66K, and then I'll take more profit at 67K if we actually push up that high. But I highly doubt we're going to make another higher high, because the trend is down. It's down and to the right. So I think if we get up to 67K, that might be an area where I might add to my short on Bitcoin. Abe 5318 says, want to go down to 50 something K. Yeah, it probably does want to go down to 50K. And I see Laureen is in the chat. Laureen, thank you for sharing the live. The Pit Trulo says today fall. Yeah, you know, it's been like that for a while now. Every now and then we get, you know, little bumps up in prices here. We actually start to make you know, we get people excited again, like, oh, hey, we're gonna buy some cheap Bitcoin, and then we get knocked down with more selling price action. You know, more sellers pushing the price down here. So I think, you know, it makes sense to like take a long right now on Bitcoin temporarily, right? Because what I showed you here on the 1 hour time frame, the MACD. Selling pressure is dying down, so, you know, we might creep back up to 66K or 67K. All right, and then here on the 15-minute time frame, yeah, there's some buying pressure now on the 15-minute time frame for Bitcoin. And like I said, that's one reason why I'm in a Bitcoin long, and I already showed you guys here on WEEX, right, where I am shorting Bitcoin right now. I got in at 67,800. I'm up 122% on a 40x leverage short. And I am also long in Bitcoin as well with 40x leverage. And I got in at 65,542. Right now we're at 65,700. I'm up 13% on my Bitcoin long. You can make money both ways. You can be in a long and a short and be in profit on both of them. I just showed you guys. I did that just now. But you gotta have a game plan too. And I told you the game plan is I think we're gonna go down, but I think, you know, we're gonna go down in the long term. We're gonna go down, right? Because we can see that we've been going down the last few days here. But I think, you know, we're done going down for now, and we might go up later on tonight. And I want to make some money if we're gonna actually go up tonight. So 66, 67K, and then I'll take profit on the long. Maybe I'll just immediately reverse it. Maybe I'll just take profit on long and go right into a short at 67K. Do I use cross margin? No, I don't use cross margin, Young Alpha. I stick to isolated. I don't like playing those kind of games with the account. So, you know, if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I don't want to add more margin to a losing trade with cross margin. I don't want to do that. I don't want to take money from my longs to go into my, you know, I don't want to take money from a winning trade to then put it into a losing trade, because the losing trade could just keep on losing and then I end up destroying all my gains. Like, you have to find out, you have to accept your loss. Like, I know some traders have a hard time doing that. And I actually talked to Lorraine about that early in the Discord. I said, a stop loss is the cost of doing business. And when you get stopped out, you just have to accept that for what it is. You were wrong. And you need to put your stop loss where you know the trade is invalidated and wrong. So on this long here on Bitcoin, right? If we're going to long Bitcoin right now at 65K or 65,600, where will we be wrong for longing? Well, if Bitcoin drops down below $65,000, like it did earlier today, then you're probably wrong. Bitcoin wants to go down lower. So I put my stop loss right over here on the long for Bitcoin. Because if we go down lower, I am wrong. I accept it for what it is. I'll lose maybe 20 or 30 bucks or whatever it was. I have to go back. Let me see. If I am wrong on my Bitcoin long, and Bitcoin goes down to 64,950, I will lose $36. I'll be down 36% and I'll lose $36. And I'm okay with that. That's acceptable. That's the cost of doing business. You have to treat trading like a business, okay? And, you know, when you open up like a store, right? And you're waiting for customers to come in, you still have to spend money on lights. You still have to spend money on hiring people for whatever store you're selling. Let's just say we're a candy store, okay? We're selling candy. You still have to go buy the candy, and then you don't know if anyone's going to actually buy the candy off of you, but you still have to pay for it, and you have to pay for the lighting, and you have to pay for, you know, the actual storefront, whether you're leasing it or if you had to buy the building itself. So that's the cost of doing business. And then, you know, you got to wait for those customers to come in, and maybe those customers never come in and you end up losing out on your trade. And that's the cost of doing business, right? There was no guarantee that anybody was going to go to your candy store and actually buy candy, right? But if you do get customers rolling in the door and you start making some profit, then you got to take those profits when you can, right? So if in this case, if the long does go up to like 67K, I should probably take some profit, right? Because eventually, one day, those customers will no longer come through the door. You might have like a bad day where it's raining and no one wants to actually go to your store and buy candy because they don't want to get wet. They don't have an umbrella. They don't want to actually go to your store. And in that case, you know, the trade doesn't work out, and you better take your profits when you can, right? So, and then of course move your stop loss to break evens. That way, you know, you don't actually lose out on a trade that you were winning, right? But yeah, you got to treat it like a cost of doing business, right? Not everything is free, and neither is day trading. So keep your losses small. You know, don't try to trade without a stop loss, because you'll end up losing all your margin and get liquidated. And if you keep your losses small enough where your gains outbeat your losses, then you'll actually You'll come up and actually be a profitable trader. Let's see. Francisco Santos says, as soon as I'm over 20-25%, you set your stop loss above entry, slightly just to break even. Day trading is the most expensive. Tuition, just don't drop out of it and it'll pay off. Yeah, you know, and I've seen that in people's trading journeys, is that they get discouraged and they don't want to trade anymore because they feel like, you know, it's a losing game for them. And I try to tell them, you know, don't give up, because you're learning trading, and it takes, you know, a year or two, maybe 3 years before you become a profitable trader and you understand how to manage your trades and also manage your psychology. Because sometimes you get into trades and you get stopped out, and then you get into another trade and you get stopped out, you get into another trade and you get stopped out, and you keep doing that, not realizing that, you know, the market's working against you. Maybe you might need to change your thesis as to, like, maybe instead of long, and maybe you need a short. Okay, so that's something that you got to figure out on your own, and that comes with experience, and it comes with understanding yourself. We had a trader in the Discord that was getting a little bit discouraged, and I told that trader that they should probably do a trading journal and write down, you know, their trades, write down, you know, where they got stopped out at. And then how did that make you feel? And then what did you do after that? Did you try to go in and do the same exact thing? Or did you wait for maybe a better entry? You know, once you start writing these things down, you'll figure out, you know, where you're making your mistakes, and then you can correct those mistakes and maybe prevent yourself from making those mistakes again and again and again. But another thing I also tell traders, especially if they, you know, what I told this trader, every trader that I know, whether they're good or bad traders, every trader that I know, even the more experienced traders, they have all blown up at least one of their accounts. Usually in the beginning of their trading. When they're trading with actual real money, they blow up their account. And then some people are not able to recover because they're not able to put money back into it to start trading again. And then they just quit trading altogether. And that's like one of the worst things you could do, because like, you quit trading, well, you're never going to get better at trading. You know, it's like, imagine if Michael Jordan, you know, lost, you know, a game in high school and he quit playing basketball. Well, he would have never went to college to play basketball, and he would have never went to the NBA to play basketball. So how are you ever going to become a phenomenal trader or a profitable trader if you just quit? If you quit, you're never going to make money. Okay? What I suggested to that trader, instead of quitting, is you know, right now they blew up their account, they lost their money, but they can go and trade on a demo account and try to trade using money that is not theirs, but, you know, basically like fake monopoly money. And, you know, here on WEEX you can do that. If I go on to WEEX here, let me see if I can click on the link here. If I click on futures, give me a second while this thing loads up. Oh, for those who like trading gold and silver, you can trade gold and silver on WEEX for free. They're doing 0 fees right now on WEEX account, on WEEX crypto exchange. But yeah, if I go here, you can go over to the futures here on WEEX, and you can do demo trading. And when you trade demo, you're trading with like make up monopoly money here. Okay, in this case, like this demo account, you know, I could put like $19,000 and I can recharge it. If I blew through that $19,000, I could deposit more, right? I could put more money into the account here. But this is a way for you to trade Bitcoin and not actually trade it with your own money. And then you could, you know, this is a great way to learn how to actually use the platform. Like, you know, like how much leverage should you use, right? In this case, is 100x leverage. I wouldn't recommend that for a beginner. I would probably do like maybe like 10x leverage, maybe 20x leverage until you get the hang of it. And then you could try doing like what I'm doing, like 40x leverage on your account. Okay. But you can play around with this and, you know, try to play around with, you know, how much margin do you use, you know, on a trade here. And it tells you the margin. Like in this case, I could put like $4,000 of margin into a trade right now. It's monopoly money. It's make up money, right? But usually, you know, I try to keep things realistic here with you guys, and I always show you guys like I'll do like a trade with like $100 of margin because I feel like anybody can do $100 of margin, right? For the most part, it's not really letting me do $100 of margin here, but you get what I'm talking about here, right? If I could put this at 1%, yeah, 1% is still like $200 of margin, but like $200 of margin, I feel like most people can do that. So if I was to do like a long on Bitcoin and play around with this demo account here. Then you can click other buttons here, like the long, take profit, stop loss here. You click on that button, and you put in where you think you want to take profit at like 67K, and it shows you can make 150 bucks, and you put your stop loss at like maybe like 65K, and you'll lose like $81 if Bitcoin drops down to 65K. And it's not really money that you're losing because this is all a demo account. This is where you can practice, learn your strategies, learn learn how you react to trades when it's like when you're losing money and actually making money. But the thing about demo account, I have to admit, you will find that you trade better with a demo account than you do an actual account with real money, because the demo account, you don't really care about your losses. Okay, I mean you kind of do because you have to recharge it every now and then, but with a demo account, sometimes you are making money and you're afraid to lose those gains, and you end up closing out your trade too early. And then you end up like, oh man, if I stayed in the trade, I would have made more money. Okay? So yeah, demo account, you will stay in the trade because you're like, whatever, it's just monopoly money. But when it's real money on the line, you're like, oh man, I actually might need that money to pay my bills. I should close out the trade, and then the trade ends up going further into your favor, and you don't actually make the money that you were planning on making. That's why, one of these strategies that I like using is like I like taking partial profits. So like in this case, I got into a long on Bitcoin at 65,500, stop loss at 64,900. Okay, if Bitcoin gets up to 66K, I'm going to take a little bit of profit, and I think Francisco knows what I'm talking about here. But I'll take a little bit of profit, and then I'll move my stop loss to break even. All right, what is this thing? I don't need this. Get out of it. But I'll take a little bit of profit, right, as my first take profit at 66K, lock in those gains, put the stop loss at break even at 65,500, and then if we continue going up to like 67K, I'll take more profit. Maybe I'll take 50% off the table at 66K, and I'll take another 50% off at 67K on the take profit number 2. But yeah, San Francisco said that he takes profit when he gets to, as soon as you're over 20-25%, you'll move your stop loss. Okay. Is that where you take profit, though? Because usually I don't touch my stop loss in a trade. I won't touch the stop loss until I take profit on my first, take profit target. And then I'll move the stop loss to break even, and then I'm basically in a trade for free. And if I get stopped out, at break even, but I made a little bit of money, okay? So I don't normally move my stop loss until I actually make profit. And if I get stopped out, then whatever. I already accepted the fact that, I was willing to lose that money in the first place. All right, let me see. I'm going to go redo the music here. Restart the music. We got like 52 people in the TikTok stream. That's good to see. Good to see you guys here on the TikTok stream. You're actually listening to me. Maybe you might be learning something about day trading here. Rosa says, how much leverage do you recommend for $100? I don't think leverage is an issue. Rosa, I think you need to figure out how much money are you willing to lose. Is $100 like your total trading account? Because if it's $100 is your total trading account, then your stop loss, you probably shouldn't be losing more than $1 or $2. Because if you lose $1 or $2, then if you lose only $1 and you have $100 to play around with, then you could do that 99 more times before you actually blow up your account, right? So, for example, let's use a bigger number here. I think most people can put like $1,000 into their day trading account. So if you had $1,000 day trading account and you're gonna stick to the rule. Well, Damien says, you know, don't risk more than 1% of your account. Well, you can go into a trade, right? And you can use like 50x leverage or 20x leverage, whatever you want to use. But your stop loss, where you put your stop loss, wherever you put your stop loss, you do not want to risk more than $10 if you're using like $1,000 trading account. All right. So let me see if I can show this here real quick here. On my trades here, if I go into my WEEX account, I normally don't like losing $20 on my trades. So if I go into the futures here, you'll see my stop losses. I think on my long, my Bitcoin long, I think I have it set where I might lose like 30 bucks here. Okay. But man, my Bitcoin long, I was okay with losing $36 on my stop loss. Okay, I can actually move the stop loss a little bit higher now. Maybe I'll make it like 65K as a stop loss. I'll lose about 33 bucks. I don't know. If I wanted to only lose 20 bucks, I would have to raise the stop loss higher than that, right? I would probably have to do 65,200. So if Bitcoin does go down to 65,200, I'll lose $20 on that stop loss. And if you have a $2,000 trading account, that should only be about 1% of your account. So that's usually where you want to put your stop loss. And if you notice, like, you know, if you don't like your stop loss at 65,200, let's say, oh no, I actually want the stop loss to be 64,900, right? But you look at that and you say, oh man, I'm actually gonna lose $40 on the trade if I'm wrong. Then you might have to adjust your leverage. You might have too much leverage. You might have to do, instead of 40x leverage, you might have to do 20x leverage. And then if Bitcoin does go down to 64,900, then your loss is probably going to be like 20 bucks instead of $39. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. Leverage is not really that important. It's where you put your stop loss and how much you're going to lose if your stop loss gets taken out. All right. In this case, I don't like losing more than $20 if I'm wrong on any of these trades here with the account that I'm using right now. Rosa says you usually do 2 or 3x leverage. Well, if you're used to doing 2 or 3x leverage, I suggest you stick to that. Okay. But like, let me see if I'm gonna show you a game plan here. All right. Let's say I think Bitcoin is gonna go to 67K, right? When I go on to TradingView here, I click on the tools here to the left. You got the let me just show you here. What's this thing gonna say? The forecasting and measurement tools here. You click on that, you click on long position here, okay? We're gonna game plan a long now, okay? So here we go. All right, so we're gonna buy Bitcoin basically at 65,900, roughly. And we're gonna see if we can get, we're gonna try to sell Bitcoin at 67K because we looked at our analysis and we're like, all right, Bitcoin's gonna go to 67K. That's like a 1,000-point move up from where it is right now. If Bitcoin goes up to 67K, that's about a 1.8% move up in price. Okay. With 3x leverage, that's only going to give you basically 6%, a little bit less than 6%. Is that what you're okay with for your profits on Bitcoin? If Bitcoin only goes up 1.8% and you're using 3x leverage, you're gonna have like a 5.4% gain. Are you okay with a 5.4% gain? That's the question you gotta answer for yourself. I know other traders, they're looking to double their money. All right, so if they're gonna put in $100 on the trade, for instance, they want to double their money, so they're gonna turn their 100 into 200 bucks. So in order to do that, and we're only gonna go up 1.8%. You're going to need more leverage, okay? So how much leverage would you need to get to 100%? You would probably need 50x leverage, right? You would probably, you do 50 times 1.8. If I can grab my calculator real quick here, I'll do that real quick. So 50 times 1.8, because that's all we're going to get is a 1.8% move up in price. That's about a 90% gain, which is almost like a double. So you need like a little bit more leverage if you want to get that 100%. You know, in this case, we'll just do 100 divided by 1.8, see what that gives us. You would need like 55x leverage, okay? So with 55x leverage, you'll be able to double your money, okay? But with 55x leverage, remember, it works to the downside too. Right now, we got the stop loss at like 0.6%. You know, if the stop loss, if I put the stop loss at $65,400 here, 0.63%. We gotta do the calculator here real quick one more time. So 0.63 times 55x leverage, you'll lose about 34% of your margin. With $100 of margin, you'll lose about $34 of margin for being wrong. Okay, so that's how leverage kind of works here with the percentages and what you're trying to do, right? You gotta figure out what are you trying to do. Are you trying to double your money? If you're trying to double your money, you need 100% gains. You need 100% profit. And right now, we're looking to see if Bitcoin can go up 1.8%. You're gonna need like 55x leverage to get to that 100% gain. But then just remember, it goes the other way. On your stop loss is gonna show that you're gonna lose like 34%. I hope that kind of makes sense to you. The more you trade, the more it will make sense. And I suggest that you start trading with a demo account, so you understand how things really work with leverage before you start putting your real money to work here. Thank you, Prince Lynch, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. Bitcoin Trader says, what's it? Bitcoin Trader TV. Remember, you have to pay the fees to get in and out of the trades, so you have to have more than 10% to break even. Yeah, that's another thing is that we have to take into account is, you know, I'm trying to get 100% gains out of any particular trade here, so I'll adjust my leverage to make sure that I'm going to get those gains for the most part. But you have to remember, you also have to pay fees to get into the trade and get out of the trade. So if you're only doing like 3x leverage on a 1.8% potential gain in price, you're going to make 5.4% gains. But then the trading fees are going to eat away at your trade there. So you might not even make any money using 3x leverage. You would need to use a lot more margin. You would need to like use like maybe $1,000 or $2,000 of margin with like 3x leverage for it to make sense. All right, Bitcoin Trader says you must cover at 10% to move stop loss. All right, Albert Finance. I'm just gonna ban this guy here. You did this yesterday. You tried spamming my chat here. You're blocked. Bye. Goodbye. You've been blocked. All right. Lorene says $1,000. No. You'll get there, Lorene. You'll get there. And I hope that's not all the money that you're trying to put in. Like if you're day trading, if you only have $1,000 to your name in your savings, you probably shouldn't be day trading with $1,000. Like you should be long-term investing that $1,000. Not financial advice. Don't sue me, bro. But you should first, before you even become a day trader, you should at least get really good at becoming a long-term investor and then becoming a swing trader, not using leverage before you start getting into day trading. And then when you feel comfortable about your trading and you feel like you can take it to the next level, then you can become a day trader and start doing leverage trading and using margin and leverage to try and do your day trades here. So I hope $1,000 is not all you have to your name in your savings, but if it is, that's okay. Then you should probably put maybe $800 to work on something that's going to be a long-term investment here, and then maybe put like $100 or $200 in your trading account, and then that's all you're going to trade with is $100 or $200 bucks. But if you got a little bit more than that, let's say you had like $10,000 in your savings, then I would still put like 9,000 into like long-term investments, and then I would probably put like 1,000 into day trading. That's how I would break it up. You should probably only use like 10% of your net worth on your trading account, and then the other 90% should be long-term investments. Levid 2024 says, what do I think happened to reopen gold? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Gold usually stops trading between 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. The futures market, they stop trading. So like right now, the price of gold is frozen right now because they do a 1 hour break. You know, they gotta go home. They gotta, you know, the guys on the exchanges over there, they need to take a coffee break or whatever. You know, I think the guys that are watching the trades, they have a change in shift where the night guys, they come in around this time, and then they start opening up for business again at like 6 p.m. Eastern time. But with cryptocurrencies, you don't have to worry about that. They don't do a pause in trading. Cryptos trade 24/7, 365, 366 on a leap year. All right. A Bill says, do I long Bitcoin? I actually did long Bitcoin. I longed it before I started this live stream. I'm in the Bitcoin 40x leverage long. I'm up 23 bucks on it, 23% right now with like $100 of margin. I'm also shorting Bitcoin. I'm up 111% on that short on Bitcoin. And you know, I I can long and short Bitcoin and still be in profit. Is basically what I'm showing you guys here. Ooh, I have a short on Pippin. It looks like it's Pippin is actually starting to climb up here. Looks like I was able to add to my short on Pippin. Well, I already took profits on Pippin. I actually made $38 on that Pippin trade. But right now I got unrealized losses of about $4 because Pippin is kind of trending upward now. Right now, let's see what Pippin is doing right now on the 50-minute time frame. Yes, I entered a short. Well, I've been shorting it at 53 cents. I took a little bit of profit at 45 cents. It dropped down to 43 cents. Then it started climbing up here. When it got up to like 50 cents, I entered a short, and I got my stop loss. I said I take that back. I added to the short, and I got the stop loss on the fresh new short at 52 cents. If we climb up to 52 cents, then I'm gonna be stopped out. But I still got my original short that I started at like 53 cents here. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm gonna get. If the thing's gonna punch right back up to 53 cents, that'd be crazy. Because that means this was one bad dream, and this thing is still gonna climb up. Because let's look at Pippin on the 4-hour time frame. This thing has been up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right, and I thought, you know, 55 cents. I thought this was the top, and it kind of was for now, at least for this afternoon. But are we just gonna treat this as a buy to dip opportunity and just continue punching up on Pippin? Maybe I should have went long instead of trying to add to the short. We shall see. We shall see. It's okay. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I'm okay with it. Rosalie, you're welcome. You're welcome. I try my best to teach you guys as much as I can here about day trading. All right. Let's see. What are you saying here, Lorraine? You said, Damien, you can't mention my media on here anymore or pin anything to show it here. Really? Maybe because I blocked somebody else, they you know, TikTok probably thought like I was trying to prevent other people from, because this guy kept coming in and like advertising his like cryptocurrency day trading crypto club here, and I'm like, yo, what are you doing here? Spamming my chat. Like, Lorraine, you can spam because you mentioned me in my Discord channel. I'm okay with that. Really? I don't know. Sometimes TikTok might actually be banning. They might actually put you on timeout if you spam me too much. Oh no, my Pippin trade just got stopped out at 52 cents. We actually came up to 52 cents here. And we're going up to 53 cents. Oh, Pippin is just tearing it up right now. Let's see, we got a nice 5-minute candle here. Oh yeah. Yeah, I got knocked out of my my Pippin right now. My Pippin short. So now I have no more Pippin, and this is just me longing and shorting Bitcoin now. That is insane that Pippin is able to do that. You see that, Lorraine? Pippin is climbing back up again one more time here. Even after we had that little nasty drop this afternoon and this morning. Looks like Pippin's trying to pretend like that's a bad dream and climb up to higher prices here. Oh really? That's crazy. Oh wait, I didn't tag you. Why are you saying I didn't tag you? I usually let everybody know that I'm going live on the Meet Damon Discord. Guys, if you want to know when I go live, right? For my TikTok guys, you go into my TikTok bio here. Don't forget to follow me if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys for following me here. But if you click on the link tree in the bio here, it will take you over to the link tree. And then here you'll see you know, all my links here. If you want to start trading on WEEX, you can click on that link right there. That's the exchange that you saw me trading on just now. I also trade on MEXC. MEXC is another cryptocurrency exchange you can trade on that I use. I also got my YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, my Twitter, and my Facebook down here. But if you want to go on the Meet Damon Discord and be able to talk to me when I'm not live, go ahead and click this Discord link here. This is free to join. I don't charge for the Discord. And you'll be able to come into the Discord and see what we're up to here and talking about various trades and whatnot here. I see we got a few people that just joined the Discord just now. Thank you, Ches, and thank you, I'm not really sure how to say that name, but I'm going to go ahead and wave hi to him right now. But you'll be able to see when I go live. I'll tell people when I go live here, I make the announcement. I share some stuff that's going on around the world here. There's Lorene talking about XRP here. And I show you, like, you know, I was in a trade here on Pippin. And yeah, I mean, Pippin went down to 43 cents. I didn't get 43 cents. I was able to take partial profit on my short at 45 cents here. But that was a nice trade, right? And then here you go. Like you see, like this is where I was getting in at, like 53, 54 cents. And then we had that nice little drop here. And you can see I did a little bit of buying here at 45 cents. Because we hit that 200 moving average on the 50-minute time frame, so I was okay with taking profit there. But yeah, this is where you guys can you know, share your thoughts and opinions about what trades to get into. We also have trade setups, so if you're like trying to figure out what cryptocurrency or asset to get into, we do have a page here, a channel here where you can share, you know, what asset you think is worth getting into. You know, you can show your chart, you know, give us your take profit, your entry, and your stop loss. And hopefully it pans out. And if it does pan out well, you can go ahead and show your gains here. And we do have traders here that are showing their gains. We got Tony Starks here, up 367%. Remember, I was just trying to get 100%, right? But some of these guys, they're out here getting 300% using like 20x leverage on a short on stable, okay? Then we got Taz here, a lot more reasonable with his 4x long on fight, and he's up 43% on that one. Then we got Cameron. Cameron's up 100% on a Bitcoin short, up 156% using 100x short, 100x leverage short here on Bitcoin. And yeah, you know, the gains just keep on coming in. You know, here's me. I was talking about shorting Bitcoin earlier. Up 66% on a 40x short, and I even shared how much dollar amount that was, $102. You know, going from 67k down to 66k. So there you go. You can show your gains, and I don't mind you guys showing your gains because I know these are all hard-fought wins here, and it's hard to stay in these trades and manage them and make sure that you know, you're making some money here. And We do have some experienced traders here, like Canada Dry and Cameron. You can learn from them as much as you can, depending upon if they're willing to teach. But I am willing to teach, and that's why I don't mind you guys coming in here and asking me your questions here and trying to figure out how to become better traders here and investors. And I do think you'll be a better investor by learning how to trade. And if you think about it, even the long-term investors on a long enough time horizon, they're still traders, right? You know, you do have to buy at some point and then sell at some point. So yeah, even the long-term investors are also traders themselves. They're just not as frequent traders as some of us day traders are. D-Rock Derek is following me here on TikTok. Thank you for following me here. Thank you, Cedric Baker, for following me here on TikTok. Let me get back into the chats here. I think we had a pretty good live stream. I've been live for almost like 2 hours here. I'm just catching up on the chat here. Yeah, I think I'm about to end the live stream here soon. I think we went over all the requests here. So yeah, I think let's just end off here on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin does want to climb up. I mean, it has been climbing up, right? We bottom out here on the 50-minute time frame. Look at the 50-minute chart. You can see that Bitcoin created a double bottom here. 1:30 p.m. we went down to like 65,065, and then here at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time we went down to 65,139. That qualifies as a double bottom. The way a double bottom plays out is you just measure the top in between the two bottoms. Kind of looks like a W, right? And you take this measured move, you put it on top of the top in between these two bottoms here, and it gives you the measured move. Most likely is going to play out where we could see 67K. We could see 67K one more time and give hope to the bulls again, only for us to get knocked down again to lower prices here. So the way I'm playing Bitcoin right now, I am in a short that I got in at, you know, yesterday at like 67,800 bucks, and I'm still in that Bitcoin short. But I got into a long on Bitcoin at 65,500, and if we climb back up to 67K, I want to take some profit on that Bitcoin long, and then maybe I'll add to my short again, and we come back down to lower prices. I can make some more money tomorrow, shorting Bitcoin. And yeah, I mean, we just been in this channel here, this parallel channel. Let me just zoom out to the 1 hour time frame, but you'll see, you know, in the 1 hour time frame, we just been channeling back and forth here, where we make, you know, a high here, then we make a low, then we make a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. I mean, do you get the picture now? Lower low, lower high, lower low. And then tomorrow we'll probably make a lower high, and then maybe on Saturday we make a lower low again. Just the way things have been going here with Bitcoin. But to me, I know how to play these you know, play these patterns here. You know, when this is a descending channel, you just buy or you long the bottom of the channel. You take a little bit of profit at the middle of the channel, and then you take full profit on your long at the top of the channel. And then you go into a short, and then you take partial profit on your short in the middle of the channel, and then you take full profit at the bottom of the channel, and keep doing that until eventually this thing is going to do something else besides a parallel channel here. Okay, but that's the way you can play this for now. You can play it like a parallel channel. Just buy the bottom of the channel and sell the top of the channel. Buy the bottom, sell the top until something changes here. All right, guys, I think that's what we see for Bitcoin. We might see 67K later on tonight, so I am looking for a long. I am in a long on Bitcoin, but I think it might be short-lived, and then we'll look to see if we can short Bitcoin again tomorrow at a higher price, maybe at 67 or 68K. And that's what we're gonna do for now for the day trading. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Let's plan on seeing each other same time, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time is when I normally go live. Until then, good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you decide to get into, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.